Welcome, fellow bookworms, to TBRs Den. My name is Whitney, and today we have the gameplay for Once Upon a TBR Honey Jar for January. I'm excited to start a new year of fresh gameplay. I think I'm going to keep playing it how I did in 2024 with moving the double squares, just because that really helped cut down on the number of books I had. And I really like that aspect of it. So I'm going to do that. The only change I'm going to be making for 2025 is the purple squares. They're already any genre. I'm going to make them a completely free space. So I'm no longer going to pull a honey jar prompt for purple squares. I will be able to just pick whatever I want to slot into that space. I think this will really help getting some of the books that I need to read or for things I'm participating in. I think that's going to help out a lot so I don't have so many extra books on top. And other than that, I'm not doing any like special challenges this year. I am going to have a family book club, which is going to be a lot of fun. And we don't know what we're reading for January at this point. I'm filming this quite a bit early. When I'm filming it, it's actually still November, but yeah, so I don't know what I'm going to be reading for that. So that will be an extra book, or I might, if I land on any purples, I might just kind of keep it open for that. Just kind of slot that in and just not know the book yet. I don't know. We'll see what I'm feeling. I am going to be doing a genre-a-thon, which is my readathon, and it's a prompt a month. So it's a year-long readathon. I am going to be doing that for another year. This will be the last year I do it, though. But I had some ideas that I just wanted to do, so I will be doing that. So that will be a book. I am going to say this year, though, if the book fits for any of the prompt, I'm going to go ahead and slot it in. Last year, I just had it as an extra prompt, so I will do it where if it fits, it can go for the gameplay as well. Just, again, trying to cut down on some of the prompts. I do have, let me grab them, some honey jar prompts that need to go back in. These are from October. Again, I'm filming this in November, so I might have some November ones going in, but these are all from October or ones that just go back in general. Any of the bookworm ones go back in. And so we have this bookworm, which is booktube TBR. We're going to be putting back in this bookworm, which is same book as last person. Then we have Snow White, which is the number 7 rep. We have Hunchback of Notre Dame, which is disability rep. Then we have Mulan, which is gender swap. And finally, we have Little Red Riding Hood, which is a fairy tale retelling. So these will all be going back into the jar. I'm going to go ahead and get the game board all set up, and then I will be right back with you guys. All right, I have the game board all set up. So just a reminder, we did roll Eeyore last time we played. So if we roll Eeyore again, we can choose to roll again, or I can keep that roll. I do still have 2 reward tokens, and so this can allow me to forego a honey jar prompt if I so choose. And then just a reminder, if we roll a 1, that is Christopher Robin, which is a coming of age or middle grade. 2 is Pooh Bear, which is a classic or comfort read. 3 is Piglet, which is an auto by author or reread. 4 is Rabbit, which is a free choice. 5 is Owl, which is a memoir, biography, or any sort of nonfiction. 6 is Tigger, which is lighthearted or fast-paced. 7 is Eeyore, which is literary or dystopian. And 8 is Kangaroo, which is a manga, graphic novel, or children's book. So, see what we roll there. And then I'm going to still have these loosely. This is just a guidance. If I can fulfill the honey jar prompt with something outside of these genres, I will. The honey jar prompts are the most important. Otherwise, I will try to get a sci-fi if I land on blue. Yellow is historical. Green is fantasy. Red is romance. Orange is mystery, thriller, or horror. Purple is, again, any genre. And then if I land on a black, I move forward 3 squares and use the color genre for that color. And I also have to pull 2 honey jar prompts. So let's go ahead and roll for our character first and just see which one we're getting. Okay, so we got 7, which is Eeyore again, and that's a literary or dystopian. I'm going to go ahead and roll again since I got Eeyore last time. I just kind of want something different. Okay, it hopped out. This time we got a 5, which is Owl, and that's a memoir, biography, or non-fiction book. Let me go ahead and get the board cleared off, and we'll get back to gameplay. All right, we are ready to go. And let's go ahead and see what our first disc is going to be. All right, we're starting off with blue, so 1 and 2. So blue again is sci-fi, if I can fulfill it. And it does need to fulfill the prompt of, let's do this one. Okay. Oh, I have the perfect book. So this is song or music inspired. This is Spirit. All right, let's go ahead and see what we get next. And then do this one. Okay, so we have red. Choose 1 and then 2. So red is a romance that fulfills the prompt of, let's do this one. Okay, so this is brave and it just needs to have bear vibes. Next, go ahead and do this one. So purple, perfect. And so normally last year, if I landed on a purple, I only moved 1. I'm going to stick to that this year as well. And we don't need to pull anything. It's just a completely free pick. And then next, and do this one. Okay, we have an orange, which is, let's see here, 1 and 2, which this is a special square. We're sitting on the bench here with Woohoo. And so this one means that it can be any genre. We don't need to try to stick with the thriller, mystery, or horror. So it can just be anything that fulfills the prompt of. Okay, we have Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's on the run. Next, we have, so we get a green, which is fantasy, and we go 1 and 2. So we need a fantasy that fulfills the prompt of, let's do this one. Okay, so book based on last thing watched. All right, and next, do this. Oh, I got 2 purple. Well, obviously we're just keeping 1 of those. So another purple, which actually takes us really far. Oh no, it doesn't. No, because we were here. So yeah, the next purple is all the way down here. Freaking myself out. So again, another free pick. All right. And then, let's see here. Go. So now a yellow, so historical. If we're able to, we're only able to move 1. So a historical that fulfills the prompt of, let's do this one. Red wants, need more. All right. Let's see here. So we get a red, a blue, or a black, we're done. Purple or orange, we can move. Anything else goes off to the side. I'm gonna go with this one. Okay, sweet. We got a black. So that's 1, and we can't move 3. We can only move the 2, which gets us to the North Pole, which is any genre. But we do need 2 honey jar prompts. If I have 1 book that can fulfill both, great. Otherwise, I need to choose 2 books. Let's do this one. So we have Rabbit, Why Me, a dramedy. And then we're going to do this one. Okay. And a coming of age story. This is Peter Pan. I'm going to choose my books and I will be right back. All right, I am back with my picks. And an interesting month. I definitely did try to stick with the genres as much as I could. And so there's a couple that are kind of outside of what I own, but they are authors I'm really interested in reading. So let's go ahead and start. First, we had Al as our character, which was either a memoir or biography or any type of nonfiction. I decided to go with H is for Hawk by Helen Macdonald for this one. This one I've had for a little while now, and I'm definitely really interested in reading it. It says the instant New York Times bestseller and award-winning sensation Helen Macdonald's story of adopting and raising one of nature's most vicious predators has soared into the hearts of millions of readers worldwide. Fierce and feral, her goshawk Mabel's temperament mirrors Helen's own state of grief after her father's death, and another raptor and human discover the pain and beauty of being alive. H is for Hawk is a genre-defying debut from a unique and transcendent new voice in literature. So I'm excited to give that a try. I've heard mixed things, but I'm still really interested in giving this a try. So that's the first one on my list. Then we pulled a blue, which is of course sci-fi. And for this one, it was either song or music inspired. I got really excited because I have several like song slash music inspired books. But I did decide to try to fulfill the sci-fi route if I could. If not, I was going to go with one of the other ones. But I happen to have Crystal Singer by Anne McCaffrey on my shelves. I think I read this one, but I can't remember for certain. So I'm excited to either reread it or read it for the first time. Says the lure of the crystal. Her name was Kilashandra Ree, and after 10 grueling years of musical training, she was young, beautiful, and still without prospects. Then she heard of the mysterious Heptite Guild on the planet Ballybran, where the fabled black crystal was found. For those qualified, the guild was said to provide careers, security, and the chance for wealth beyond imagining. The problem was, few people who landed on Ballybran ever left. To Kilashandra, the risks were acceptable. So that works perfectly for that prompt. I'm excited for that. Then we pulled a red, which is a romance. And for this one, we got Merida from Brave. And so that was to read something with bear vibes. So I was thinking either maybe like Mama Bear or like forest setting. And I decided to go with forest setting. So I'm actually going to be reading 2 books for this one. And I'm going to read Time and Again by Nora Roberts, which has Time Was and Time Change, which is a duology, and it's kind of a time travel duology. And the reason I'm going with this one is for this reason. It is set in a remote mountain cabin. So it says, in Time Was, Liberty Stone was minding her own business, standing on the porch of her remote mountain cabin, when time traveler Caleb Hornblower literally dropped out of the sky and into her world. And though it might not be the most sensible thing to fall for a hunk from the future, Liberty finds that nothing can stop the pull of love in Time Was. In Time's Change, Caleb's brother Jacob followed his brother across time in order to bring Caleb home, but after spending time with Liberty's sexy sister Sunny, Jacob soon realizes where his future lies. So, yeah, I'm going to be reading that since it's set in, remote cabin wood. That definitely fits the bear vibes. Then we pulled a purple, which this year is a completely free pick. And so for that one, I'm going with my Genre-a-thon book, which is Genre-a-thon. The prompt for January is looking back and looking forward to either read like an alternate history, speculative fiction, or a futuristic book. And I'm going with kind of the alternate history slash speculative fiction, and that is going to be West of Eden by Harry Harrison. So this is kind of a world where dinosaurs never died out, so they are still part of the world. And it says, from a master of imaginative storytelling comes an epic tale of the world as it might have been, a world where the age of dinosaurs never ended, and their descendants clashed with a clan of humans in a tragic war for survival. It is the tale of Carrick, a young hunter who grows to manhood among the dinosaurs, escaping at last to rejoin his own kind. His knowledge of their strange customs make him the humans' leader and the dinosaurs' most feared enemy. So I did try to read this at one point. I was a little bit over my head at that point, and I just wasn't in the right mindset. But I am excited to give it another try. So hopefully this time I'll be able to do it. Then let's see here. We pulled a orange, which is mystery, thriller, or horror. And for this one, we got Jack and the Beanstalk, and it's on the run. And so for this one, I'm going with Run, Rose, Run by Dolly Parton and James Patterson. Very shiny. And this one works perfect. So it says, a thriller from America's most beloved superstar and his greatest storyteller. A young singer-songwriter on the rise and on the run is determined to do whatever it takes to survive. Every song tells a story. She's a star on the rise, singing about the hard life behind her. She's also on the run. Find a future, lose a past. Nashville is where she's come to claim her destiny. It's also where the darkness she's fled might find her and destroy her. So, Run, Rose, Run is a novel glittering with danger and desire. So we're going to give that a try. I've had it for a little while now, so I'm excited to finally be able to read it. Then we got a green, which is for fantasy. And for this one, we got book based on Last Thing Watched. The last thing I watched was a YouTube video put out by Christy versus Kitchen. I'll link the channel down below and the video. And she was in Vegas and she was trying out the best and worst celebrity chef restaurants. And so I was like, fantasy that has something to do with food. And so for this one, I am going to be getting a book to read, and it's an author I've read from before just once, and that is Kingfisher, and I'm going to be reading A Wizard's Guide to Defensive Baking by this author. And so basically you have the main character and is not very good at magic. Her familiar is a sourdough starter, but she's able to do magic in the bakery, and she finds a body on her bakery floor, and there's an assassin kind of out to get the wizards. And so I'm going to be reading that one. I know it's different. I read The Hollow Places by T. Kingfisher. I know it's very different vibes, but I'm excited to try something else because I haven't tried anything else since I read The Hollow Places, which was like 2 years ago. So I'm really excited to finally try another book by that author. Then we had another purple, so a completely free pick. And for this one, I'm going to be doing my family's book club pick, which I don't know what it is yet. We haven't voted yet. I'm going to be doing The Eyes Are the Best Part. I forget the author's name. I'll leave it here, and of course it'll be down in the description. The Eyes Are the Best Part, I think by I can't remember the author. And then I'm going to be doing Nosferatu by Joe Hill as an option, and Hell Followed With Us. Again, can't remember the author for that one as an option. So those will be the 3 options, and whatever one wins will be my pick for that spot. Then we got Yellow, which is historical, and for this one, we got a bookworm, which is Read Once, Need More. And so this is kind of a spirit. You read something, it was like a new to you author, and you really, really loved it, and you want more from that author. For this one, I've actually read 3 books by the author, but they're all within the same series. So I'm going to be going with, let me grab my notes here, I forgot. The Witchwood Knot, and that's by Olivia Atwater. I read her Regency fairy tale series and absolutely adored them, and this one is a Victorian fairy tale series. And so I'm really excited to I heard she was doing a Victorian fairy tale series, and I knew I wanted to read it because I absolutely love the Regency one. And so that's what I'm going to go with. And basically, in this one, it's set in Victorian England, and you have a governess, and her charge gets stolen by the fairies. Her boss doesn't believe in fairies, and so it's kind of up to her to try to track down this child and save him. And apparently, like, one of the other household members is Fae, and so she kind of enlists their help to try to save the child. So I'm really excited. I don't think anything else is out. This one was published in November of 2023, and it doesn't look like any more have come out or are projected to come out, so I hope we get more, because I have a feeling I'm going to love it just as much as I love the Regency ones, so we shall see. So that's my pick for that one. Then we pulled a black, which got us to move forward into the North Pole, and so once we hit the North Pole, it's just any genre, but I do have to pull 2 honey jar prompts, and so I wasn't able to get one book that fit both of these. So the first one is Rabbit, and it's Why Me, and it's a dramedy, because Rabbit is always like, why is my stuff always getting destroyed, and such. So a dramedy. And for this one, I looked up how to pronounce this because everybody always seems to struggle, and I never know exactly which way it's supposed to be pronounced. So I did look it up. I don't think I've heard anybody pronounce it right. So it's A Man Called Uwe, by Fredrik Backman. And this is going to be my choice for this one. The list I found also mentioned Anxious People by this author, which I also have, but this one just seemed to fit the vibes more for me. And so it says, at first sight, Uwe is almost certainly the grumpiest man you'll ever meet. A curmudgeon with staunch principles, strict routines, and a short fuse. People think him bitter, and he thinks himself surrounded by idiots. Uwe's well-ordered, solitary world gets a shake-up one November morning with the appearance of new neighbors, a chatty young couple and their 2 boisterous daughters, who announce their arrival by accidentally flattening Uwe's mailbox with their U-Haul. What follows is a heartwarming tale of unkempt cats, unlikely friendships, and a community's unexpected reassessment of the one person they thought they had all figured out. A word-of-mouth bestseller that has caused a sensation around the world, Fredrik Backman's irresistible novel about the angry old man next door is an uplifting exploration of the unreliability of first impressions and a gentle reminder that life is sweeter when it's shared with other people. So I'm going to be reading that one. And then we also got Peter Pan, which is a coming of age story. And so for this one, I unfortunately wasn't able to finish my reread of the Harry Potter series in 2024. So I have 2 books left that I need to read. So I will be reading Harry Potter and the Half-Blood Prince by J.K. Rowling. Harry Potter is definitely a coming of age story, especially at this point. He's really kind of coming into his own. And so this one, they're in their 6th year, and just struggling with the events outside of Hogwarts while still trying to learn and such inside of Hogwarts as well. So, and then this one, Harry finds a textbook that has like all sorts of notes by the Half-Blood Prince, and yeah, things happen with that as well. So that is going to be my final book for the month. So yeah, this is a pretty good stack. I think this is probably one of the more doable stacks I've had in a while. I can actually even lift up and show you, which I haven't been able to do before. So this is what I'm going to be reading, plus 3 others that I don't have, which is fantastic. I don't have any extras that I'll be adding on here unless I have any rollovers, which I'm not anticipating having any rollovers, but you never know. So yeah, I think that is going to be a great month, a good start to the year. I like the different mix of books I have within there. I think it's a great mix. Let me know if you've read any of these books, if you're interested in reading any of these books, what a book is that you're looking forward to picking up soon. If you don't know what to comment and you just want to let me know you're here and to help support the channel by commenting, you can always leave a rabbit or any type of animal emoji. I'm going to go ahead and leave you guys here. Happy reading, everyone. Bye.